This is Point Black coming in with part two on another joint, hitting them hard off the card. While they downstairs listening all of somebody's business, think they gonna change the groove up here. They don't know Point Black stands alone regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes down to it, the soldier gotta do what the soldier gotta do. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about what you hear or know or see. It's about what I say, what I do. And that's how we're gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So this is PBN, Point Black, National News, the late edition. You know what I'm saying? We on the flow today with the facts to crack their back and come up with the heat from the motherfucking street. This is PBNN, Point Black, National News, the late edition, and the ghetto edition as well. So pay attention, get your cars on going on down there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. This is how we do. You know what I'm saying? Now we see Clarence Thomas, court justice, called call on the issue of the federal marijuana prohibition. You know what I'm saying? He's calling it contradictory to the unstable state and the unstable state of affairs. You know what I mean? First, what's the issue? You know what I mean? Because that's no more than like a cigarette now. Nobody really worrying about that or a little cheaper flavor. You know what I mean? Nobody really worried about that. That's the least we should have to worry about. A little cheaper. You know, a little. That should be the least of the worries instead of opioids, drugs, heroin, all kinds of other garbage. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't have to be worrying about those things. You know. So he's trying to say, you know, the regulations is to me what we need here because many do smoke. You know what I mean? So regulations is okay, but making sure that it's done in a proper way that people can purchase and do what they have to do, such as the laws that they passed. So Clarence Thomas needs to calm down on the issue based on trying to force the issue in some way. Mr. Clarence Thomas, I respect you. You've been in the Supreme Court for many years, and I respect what you have done. I'm not sure if you did good or bad, but as we see, you are there. So you earn your stripes as a Supreme Court justice. Let's not go too far with making up and saying things that's not really bear value, you know, even on the matter, you know, because it was used as a tool to, incarcerate, you know, black people, especially, and many other different races that were smoking it at that time, back when you were young, when he turned it into a criminal situation. Now it's time to drop those and move on. That's the main thing we have to do here. You know what I'm saying? So the regulations is what it needs because many do. So we have to understand the basis of the matter. You know what I mean? Why must it be criminal? You know what I mean? Because it's a plant, really, and that's as far as it goes. You know what I mean? That's as far as it goes. There ain't no whole bunch of. If you leave it alone and let it grow on its own naturally, you know what I'm saying? It's a natural thing. You know, everybody don't have to smoke. You know what I mean? And everybody don't have to eat gummy bears and all this stupid stuff. You know what I mean? If you smoke, you smoke. If you don't, you don't. Because sometimes that's a therapy in itself for certain people, and it keeps a lot of people calm as well. You know, there's hundreds of thousands good that it does in its natural order. You know what I'm saying? That other garbage with opioids, heroin, all kinds of stupid shit. Molly, that's garbage. So, we need to start looking at things for what it is. Because it is a cash crop when you really look at it. Same as any other, any other to be seen. You know, you have corn, you have carrot. It's the same thing. It's the same to be seen, but not the same to be seen as opioids. You know what I mean? It's not the same. You know. So we see. So, we add and know why. But now, we add and we know why these things are coming up. You know why? You know, we are here now. And this is what we have to understand. We are here now. The process of understanding, was good. Like I said before, you know, we could do with some regulations on it because we don't need a whole lot of chaoticness going on over something simple as that. You know what I mean? So we do need it. That's what we need. Prohibition, I don't think we need to go into that, you know, because prohibition really benefits or to me are just a big, the benefits really of it. Talking about prohibition, we should be talking about the benefits. The benefits of it is big in the medical field and, the medical field as well. So we have to understand that, Mr. Clarence. Thomas, and I respect you. Good to see you still in your position and holding tight. You know what I mean? Now we see California has banned travel, to other states. So we see, now we see Kamala, you know, the price of Kamala. We see the price of Kamala, where she lives and all that. They got it spreading her business across. Like, we really need to see that. Isn't that Kamala's business, though? How is that news? You showing us where she live at, and then you putting a price on it, saying, 2.7 million. They borrowed the money from Wells Fargo. You know what I'm saying? In the house. Wells Fargo in the house. You know, you know. I mean, straight. It really doesn't make any sense to me because, like I said, these people ain't stretching $5 at McDonald's. So I don't understand what the whole ideology of us telling us some news about Kamala's home and where she live. It doesn't make no goddamn sense. They ask me. You need to come up with better news than that. For real. That's her personal business and her life. You know what I mean? You know. Now we see Trump supporters were warned. CNN reporter, clown maybe, saying if, the former president, is not reinstated soon, you know, making threats, I guess, saying if Donald Trump, J. Trump isn't reinstated soon, you know. So this become a power groove here, it seemed like to me. You know what I mean? So, you know, what they need to do though, while you have these people making threats, if Donald Trump ain't reinstated, we gonna blow up the world. You need to have to. What the problem is because the prover, has never proven truthfully, and to see that on the table, So for the CNN reporter who reported this story needs to get the truth on fraud and settle it once and for all. Until then, you have the agitators who's going to constantly be, ripping at this year for the whole 4 years. That's why Biden signed all those executive orders and all these things and these agencies of power into play, because they knew what they did and what they have done. So basically, we see that. You know what I mean? You're going to have agitators. Okay. We see. Now we see Miss Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, fired back at Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, saying she was a little communist. She called Marjorie Taylor a communist. So, what is Miss Cortez? I'm mixed up here. So Greene saying that, saying the same thing about that, to Miss Cortez. She's saying that Miss Cortez is communist too. You know what I'm saying? But but to me, Miss Cortez, if a if in many ways you do what you do, you seem like, I don't understand how y'all people really running government up there, because some of the rhetoric is really foolish. To me, it seems like a plant sometimes. You know what I mean? You know, and that's the way it is. And a fool to keep anything and anyone to trust you. So I don't know what kind of Republican you are. You know what I'm saying? But we watching because we have a right to watch. I don't know who lives in a world and don't watch the political issues that are going on in their world that bring down laws and changes on their head. You've got to be a straight dummy, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? You know, in any shape or form, I'm not trusting anyone, but I got to watch what's going on. To me, she seems like a demon Democrat more than a Republican. You know, and to me, she's only trying to derail investigations that Marjorie Taylor is calling for. You know what I'm saying? You know, Mrs. Cortez needs to, I don't know, somehow things are so mixed up, get out of government, get out of politics or something. Because to me, she seems like a Luciferian and a deep state. And that's point blank. Because I've seen a lot of gestures by these different politicians over the years. You know what I mean? We need to get back to building and keeping things normal and calm. Everybody always talking about um, conflict in foreign affairs. You know what I'm saying? But some of those conflicts are countries that may have uh, nuclear weapons, you see. So when they get to arguing back and forth and all this, because they have an issue, Kim Jong Il saying this and Biden saying that and Trump saying that and everybody going back and forth, and then somebody's one of the crazy, chaotic, bald-headed freak and up there threatening to go to war. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that you have nuclear weapons. So for y'all foolish game that you play, you blow up everyone else who probably didn't even know what was really going on. Probably was practically having a cold beer. You know what I mean? But when they play the games, this is the games they play, and they're playing with these things. We don't want to hear that, and that is not a group of a sane person that cares about the earth and the planet that they live on. So in one step, you sound foolish. You know what I mean? So we have to start paying attention to that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? To me, some of these people is not right for our government at all. You know what I mean? She has done a lot. A bull to me and certain things she was talking about even during the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And if and if she's supposed to be out there, making sure that things go right as a Republican based on building anything for her people in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? And that's it. So we have to look at that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If she supports Trump, you know, do she support Trump or do she support Biden? Is the question I'm asking. Will, you know, to me, I'm asking, what is your, choice? Because it seems like you definitely every time I turn around, we see you, you know, we see you there to derail shit into nonsense sometimes. You need to get yourself together because if you're the leader of the for the Latino community, you know what I'm saying, you should really be making more sense. Sometimes you sound like the rest of, some of the people over there who could be very sadistic, you know what I mean? And have very, I don't know what to call it, carnal ways sometimes. You know what I mean? We need to shape that up, you know. You know, sometimes it doesn't make sense where, when, and how. Is the question. When does she make sense? Where, when, and how does she make it? We must ask Miss Cortez. You see what I'm saying? Before, you know, oh, when we elect her in any shape or form. So we have to start shaping up. The whole matter of the fact is we have to shape up our government. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we have to do that. It's not always a pretty picture, but it is something that you can make sure for the children and the future of your children in this country. You see what I'm saying? Because the corruption and the type of things that's going on, you know what I mean? It's really ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. It's really, you know, out of this world. A lot of people are coming up missing and all kinds of foolishness going on. You know what I mean? To me, when it comes to Biden, you know, he's corrupting equality under the law. Sometimes when you look at the things he says, like I said, the crook hides behind the law. Even Tim Scott is on their head. You know, even Tim Scott is on his head. We as black people must, must, you know, back the Republican ticket that our ancestors fought for and died for. Like I said before, and I'm running it as long as it takes. This, this, this is the balance. You know what I'm saying? It's the balance, and it puts the Democrats in check. You know what I mean? You cannot have the Democrats dominating the House. We have a lot of problems out here without them trying to dominate the House and on the run looking foolish. I mean, but we'll see. We'll see. You put them in check. You know? You know? Everybody act like Donald Trump record is so bad, but Biden isn't. His record damn sure ain't clean. You know what I mean? Yeah, just because he's the president, you know what I mean, don't make him no saint. You know what I mean? To me, Tim Scott is right. You can't fight discrimination with discrimination, especially in this country. You can't do that. You know what I mean? You know, you can't fight this fight like that. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to say the right words to make people understand. You know, to grow up. You know, you cannot do that. You know, discrimination have played a race. They have always, to me, in this country, Democrats have always played the race card. Me against you and you against me. You know, one of their favorite moves, if you ask me. You know, running it for years too, and using different components in the government and people in the government to keep it going that way. Same as we have the NSA out there spying on people right now. And think we don't know. Yeah, I looked at every single one of them orders that he signed, and that's all I saw. You know what I mean? I didn't see nothing else. So that means we have a terrible problem in our government that needs to be solved. That needs to be solved. Because we all have children here. We all have children here. But you could tell the people exactly how they think about their children by the way they treat the world that they live in too. The women, the young and the old. You could definitely tell that when you look at those categories. You know what I mean? You know, they know how to play both sides of the fence. They really know how to play both sides of the fence. You have many of them say they Democrat, and next thing you know, they're Republican. You have a lot of them that say they're Republican, but they're really Democrats. That's how they play the game. Keep you, you know, thinking that you have something, you know, and you create a whole riot situation could really be based on that garbage. But you need to step back and take a time out to look at what, you know, how they play you and knows how to play both sides of the fence. This is how they win the minds of the people. Not all Republicans are honest to the party of the GOP. You know what I mean? They're only there to sabotage. And that's point blank. You could see that. But they are not Republicans. They are really Democrats. You know what I mean? So we have to look at that situation for what it is. You see. You see. You know? You know. So when you think something is about to change, it falls nowhere. And there's a lot of white people that need to wake up to these facts as well. You're still running on the old time religion. And then you have those that have catching up and trying to drive the world in a certain way. And everybody's assembling. So we're looking at straight chaoticness that's going on. And like I said, the demon Democrats love this type of behavior. And you know why. Just look at the word Democrat. That'll tell you that. You know, it falls nowhere. You know? Because the controlling of people on the other side, you know what I'm saying? We must pay more attention of this trickery, even the voting regulations. You know what I mean? Even voting regulations. You know, reports is even saying that, you know, there's some of them are failing to meet even a regulation. So, you know, if this is the case, the Democrats seem to be, you know, fighting against every group. Why wouldn't you want a more protected and fair and clean election due to the rules that are put into place to make sure that there's no fraud or cheating or even that even comes up? And people are satisfied with a fair election that, you know, but look at what they did all in one bunch. Coronavirus, riots, yada, 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 voodoo, bada, bada. That tells what you were doing and the guilty conscience that is thinking that you got to make sure that you stay up in that house. You know? That you stay up in the house. You know? Now we see a little spying going on. You know what I'm saying? We see a little spying going on. You know? Now we see the true side of the demon Democrats, even when it comes to the voter fraud. Still not proven. You see, this is the part in which they miss. Let's break it down. If someone calls voter fraud in an election based on the fact that he's dissatisfied with the election and how it's going, it's not the fact that you're saying fraud because you don't want Biden to win. Real people ain't gonna say that. What we're saying, fraud was called in the game. So we want to know if there is or was not. Now, if you cannot give us your version, because we didn't get all of it, that was just your quick version, the same way the electoral college rushed it through. So that's what we're saying. It's not about whether he should be the president or he should be the, no, we want to know was there any fraud involved because there was a claim called. And it must be found. A lot of other things were found as well. So, you know what I mean? But now we see a lot of that going on. Even when it comes to the voter fraud. It has not been proven. It don't matter whether it's Republican or Democrat, it just wasn't proven. I don't see what the big deal is. You know? But, you know, to enact certain agencies that speak for that, you know, by him enacting certain agencies at that particular time speaks for itself. Like the NSA and many other organizations. You see. But speak about racial justice. You know. Marjorie Taylor Greene has made a stand. Many others, and now, you know, Many others have made a stand. And now we need to get the results. You know what I mean? We need to get the results on what she has made a claim based on the June 6th riot, the fraud, the this, the that. She wants the investigation on a nice independent one so we can get real, clear, transparent evidence on this. You see, in its fullness as well. Same like with the FBI. Biden executive orders, you know, threw the light on the hate and wicked Luciferian games, you know what I mean, that they have been playing for years. This shows. This shows that. It shows that it's no more than the same bullshit. You see? So the desperation is what gave it away. You see? The desperation gave it away. So, we're going to stop right here. This is Ra. Stay for Ra. May the mother be thy guide. Be good to others as others are good to you. This is the way of the world as it is. We share, we understand where we live. So I say Ra. Stay for I. This is BBNN, Point Black. National News. No man precedes his mother. You must remember this when the great General Soren Sultan said it, and the mighty Pharaoh. I say one.